What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So let's do this today. We're going to try to see if we can get this motherboard to work or not, and I'm just going to try to play with the camera so you guys can see everything that we are doing. All right, what about this way? Is that better? All right. So this motherboard is an AM3 Plus and it's DDR3. So I went ahead and put a stick of RAM in it, and I have another stick of DDR3 that I'm also going to put in it. And when you're doing that, you always want to stagger them. You don't want to put them right next to each other. So let's open up the shoe on that. Put our RAM in. Give it a good little push until it clicks. Like that. And it's seated. Alright. And then we got this right here. This is pretty cool. This is what we're going to use for our CPU cooler. It says that it's AM3, but it doesn't say anything about AM3 Plus. Now, the only thing I know about AM3 Plus and the difference of it is that there's one more CPU pin in the socket. But as far as the holes are concerned, you know, like where it's going to sit, for, I don't know. I guess is as good as mine. I'm actually going to see if I can get it to work before I even bother with it. Let's see. It has some markings on it. 775 LAG. Wait a minute. No, none of that makes any sense. Let's see here. Which way does it go? Oh no, it's not even close. It don't even. Oh, look, it's not even close. See? Like, it don't do nothing. But I wonder if I can get away with just setting it down. Because really, I just want to turn it on and see if it'll boot. I'm not too interested in if I can mount it. I'll worry about mounting it at a later date. I just want to make sure that this thing is going to work. So we're going to plug it into the CPU fan, this header over here, because I want to try to eliminate as many error codes as possible. Because if you don't plug it into the right CPU fan, it will give you an error code. All right, is this a 3-pin? It is a 3-pin. So 1, 2, 3 pin sits like that. All right. This is actually touching the RAM by a little. I'm just going to set it right on top like that. Okay. We got our hard drive. This is what we're going to boot off of. So I guess I need a SATA plug. I hope these SATA plugs work. These aren't mine. I got them with the machine, so I guess we're going to find out. Actually, let's see. Set that over there for now. Let's see what port we're in. SATA O, which is right here. That's where you want to start at. You want to start with SATA O whenever you're installing your boot drive. Because when the motherboard turns on, it's going to start at 0 to look for an operating system. Okay, so that's hooked up. We have our EVGA 500, and it's an 80 plus bronze, and this is what we're going to use to power it. All right, got our 20 plus 4, so we got our 24 pin. And they're keyed, so meaning that these are different shapes. They're squares and circles and rounds, and the reason why they're keyed like that is so you can't install this wrong. It only goes in one way. So that's kind of the good news. And if you're not sure which way it goes, well, usually the little clip on the sides is a dead giveaway, but you want to make sure that that is completely seated. All right, now let's look for, all right, that's a SATA. We're going to need a SATA. What else we got? Where's the CPU at? It's probably this big sucker. Okay, That's our CPU. A lot of CPUs take a 4, but this one requires an 8. So we're going to go with an 8-pin. And we're going to plug her in. All right. So the system is starting to come along here. Alrighty. Well, for the next thing, graphics card. This is a 1050 Ti, and it's going to need to hang off the table if it's going to be seated, because we don't want it to interfere with the table. I'm pretty sure this is the 16 times slot, but almost everything I try to hook up almost doesn't want to fit. There we go. I heard the click. Alright, so the motherboard, everything is seated properly now. So I'm going to rotate it. That way you guys can see something. Alright, here's our CPU cooler. We're going to sit that on it the best we can. Alright, so it just kind of needs to sit right on it. Nice and squared. So like this, will that work? I don't know why it's pulling on it. It should pull on it. Alright. We need a power cord. So I got one right here. Alright, power cord. Let's plug that into this. Alright, I'm not going to put any thermal paste on that right now. I just want to see if this thing's going to boot. Like, that's all I care about. I guess I'm going to have to steal one of these out of the back of my machine. Let's see here, that's a DVI cable. I don't know if this thing has. Of course, it gets hung on everything. Does this thing have a DVI port? Oh, yes, it does. It does have a DVI. All right. So we'll go with DVI then. Plug that in. Plug that in. All right. Let's move this. Let's move this and our reader. We'll set that over here. Okay. What we're going to need is a monitor. We're going to need a monitor and a keyboard. And okay. Monitor with a VGA cable stuck in it. We don't need that. Set that over there. What we do need is a power plug to it. Alright, and I'm just going to set that. Maybe I can get away with setting it over here in this corner. Nope, there's a stupid SATA plug. Okay. So that way you guys can see it too. Let's go ahead and plug in our DVI before we get it too far down the line. Just stick her in there. I hate these stupid little screws for them. I mean, but once they're in there and you get them screwed in there, shit, they're not going nowhere. And things will be there for life. Okay, wait a minute, I gotta put my head in the way. Alright, let's power this up. You know, this can't wait until they come up of age where everything is Bluetooth. You know, if Nikola Tesla had his way, everything would be open source power. It would be free. It would just float in the air. You wouldn't have telephone wire lines and all this other crap going everywhere, but a certain somebody won a contract and the other person lost it, and that's why we have telephones and wires and all this other shit running everywhere now. What else? What else? What else? Oh, I need a keyboard and a mouse. Let me back up just a little. Okay, like that. All right. We have a keyboard, and we're going to set it over there. We're just going to plug it in, and we need a mouse. Let's see. Should have. Oh man, come on! I'm live streaming. You're going to get stuck on me. Damn! I swear, you think you're prepared for something, and you're doing it right, and then all this other BS comes along. All right. So there's the mouse. Okay, so we don't need my system right now. My system's live streaming it. Okay. So we'll set the keyboard there. There's no need to see the keyboard. We'll set the mouse right here on this mouse pad, I guess. Okay, so we should be able to turn this thing on, but not very long. It's okay. I just want to see if it's going to boot. Alrighty. And then there is a power switch right here that glows nice and blue that I like. And we're going to press it. And let me see if I can't bring you guys over. So it's working. Although I'm getting all kinds of goofy error codes. F2, C1. C1's the main one. Oh, look, it just shut itself off. Oh. So we do have an issue somewhere. See, what happened with this thing is the guy that got thermal paste inside of the socket and on the pins of the CPU, and I tried cleaning that. Okay, so our main error code is C1 and then 25, and then it shuts down like that. All right, and we're not getting any type of play or signal out of the, whoop, wrong direction, my fault. We're not getting any play out of it or nothing. I'm kind of curious to see, let's see here, this is a, I think it's a gigabyte. Pretty sure it's a gigabyte. Yeah, it's a gigabyte motherboard. So let's see if we type in gigabyte, gigabyte, error code C1. All right, let's see what the error code is for C1. Let's see here. C1 error. I have a Z, blah, 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 blah. When I boots, I get a C1 error. It won't post, blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is Tom's hardware that I'm looking at. Let's see what Tom's hardware has to say about the subject. What speed is your RAM? Stick of RAM, black lane, and see if you get into the box without errors. Into the black lanes. So C1 has something to do with RAM. Having the same problem, blah, 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 blah. It gives it before it starts to the boot cycle. Yeah, see, it started to boot, and then it just went out on me. All right, so I'm getting a C1 error code when this thing tries to load, and the internet is not helping. Like, seriously, it's just taking me to all these forums where people are asking the questions and blah, 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 blah. It says right there, C1 is a memory-related error. It could be the CPU memory controller error too, but it's likely. Test it with one stick of RAM in any of the white slots. Test all 3 slots. It will boot up with one stick. All right, so it keeps talking about white and black slots. Unfortunately, my motherboard is not coded that way. It's just all black. But that doesn't mean necessarily. All right, so let's just pop that one out. I know this is a good stick because it works. It came out of a working board. All right, so let's try it with one stick of RAM and see if that helps. I went ahead and put it in the first slot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting this, wait a minute, hold on. Let's just try it with one stick of RAM like it suggested in the original slot. All right, so we got our stick of RAM back in. Let's put our CPU cooler down. Okay, all right, everything looks good. Let's press the button and let's see what happens. C1 error, C1 error, C1 error. We're still getting it. F2, C1, F2, C1. Okay, so I'm also getting an error code that says F2. Let's see what the GIGAB, gigabyte, error code, F, it was F2. Wasn't that what it was saying? Error code F2. All right, so BIOS, clear BIOS, detected, PC won't boot, error code F2, 6. I wonder what error code 25 means because that was the other error code we were getting. Error code 25. Let's see what comes up with that. Keep getting error code readout. Okay, so this is saying that error 25 is a device error code. So it's saying that this slot is not good or the USB is not good. It says this error is generally linked to the PS2 device in the wrong port or a defective port or device, a defective graphics card, or a bad card slot. All right, so the two main codes that we are getting is error in the RAM, and then they're saying that this slot is no good. All right. Okay, so we tried it with it in the other slot. Let's move it up. And we will now try it in a different slot. All right. We have to get rid of the C1 code, which is the RAM related one, before we can worry about other codes. Because if we do too much shuffling, we could start getting other codes popping up, and that's not what we want. We don't want other codes popping up. All right, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. I'm still getting a C1 error code. F2 error code. All right. Okie dokie. Let me pull this sucker out of slot. Okay. And we will try moving it down. Well, that says that's a 16. That's a PCI 16 too. Why do they make all these damn other PCI brackets? They just make it more confusing. That's all. More confusing. But that's the primary, because you can tell by the slots on it, and then that's a secondary primary. So we're going to try with the secondary and see what happens. I mean, it's a beautiful board, but if I can't get it to work, then it just may be a beautiful um, piece. All right, we're going to try it with a different stick of RAM. This is ADATA. This is DDR3 at 1600, which is the fastest DDR3 RAM that you can possess. See, that sounds crunchy. All right, it's locked. I wonder if there's anything on this though. I don't see. I don't see any type of paste or markings, or I don't see anything. Nothing's. All right. Well, let's put the CPU cooler back on. All right, and we're going to try to power C1, F2, 25, and then it goes off. C1, 22, F5. Who messaged me? Sorry, it's the wife wanting to know if she should pick up dinner or pizzas or any of that kind of awesome thing. All right. Let's see here. See, now that looks like there is something in that slot right there, like some type of paste or something. We're still getting an error code with the RAM. So let's move it up a tick. We'll try it in the other slots. Okay. All right. And then we'll put the CPU cooler back on top. And we will hit the power button. What are we getting? Same damn thing. C1, F2, and code 25. We're getting 3 error codes. Now, a lot of that could, in fact, have to do with the CPU and everything. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I'm going to pull this thing out and look at it. There's no bent pins on it. See, I don't see that nice shine to it. Oh boy, but it is hot. Dang, this thing is hot. Woo, it's hot. Woo, that's real hot. And then the socket. I wonder, is there a way that you can remove this little black, like the actual socket seat that the CPU sits in? Can you remove that? I don't know. I've never seen if I was able to remove something like that or not. But all the pins look to be straight. I don't see any of them that are bent. I don't see any of them that have a paste or any kind of crack. All the pins appear to be aligned correctly. I mean, I really don't. I don't see anything wrong with this. Now, that makes me think that it's probably down in that socket. That socket's probably extremely dirty and crapola. Well, that sucks. So I guess what I'm going to have to do, let's take this off. I guess what I'm going to have to do is dig a little deeper. I know that the RAM works because I pulled it out of a working machine. And usually when you start getting goofy error codes that make no sense, like when you start getting a bunch of error codes, it's usually because there's something going on with the CPU. I've had it to where we've debugged it and tried all kinds of different things and we couldn't get it to work. And, it was because of this. But I wonder if you can remove the socket cover. Is that what that thing's called? A socket cover? Or just a socket? I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Another fail? Another bust? Man, I would really like to see it work. Now, I know that one for sure works. That motherboard definitely works. I saw it work. It came in a working system and everything, and I pulled it. So, all right, let's disconnect everything, because everything has to be disconnected. Gotta do this and do that. Pull the pins out of that. All right, everything out of this motherboard. Yes, except for that. And it could also be this. This might be bad. I don't know. It might be what the third code is, but I'm thinking that there might be some crap. See, when you move that door, here, look, I'll show y'all. See, when you move that door back and forth, you can see the pins, the gold shine through. And it doesn't look dirty. None of them look dirty, but you really can't tell. It's so microscopic. And it has to be open just right, like that, and able for you to get all that out. I'm going to do some research and see if we can pull this off, this whole mechanism. See if there's a way of pulling that off without destroying the board or destroying it. Because I would really like to take that off. If I could take that thing off, I'd be able to properly clean those pads that are in there. Then again, they may not be pads. They might just be like little tubes that those things sit in. Or maybe something's bad with this. Who knows? Maybe there's something bad with it in there and it's just not working right. Who knows? So that sucked, man. If you guys have any advice or any suggestions on why it didn't work, or how to get that off, or how to clean it, I would love to know. But it didn't work. And we've been at it for damn 30 minutes already. Jeez. Alright, well, I'm gonna go eat some dinner. Thank you guys for watching. Give me a thumbs up. See y'all next time, and we will try to pick up some more computer stuff at a later date. So yeah, bye guys.